Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie, I'm Mysticle, and today I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. As usual, you have chapters down below to skip to any specific part of this video that you might be most interested in, and with that being said, let's get right into it. So, first of all, let's talk about a few changes coming to Horizon OS on Quest from Luna on Twitter. In v81, Meta seems to have completely changed the description of the avatar camera permission. It's now called virtual cameras and says app will be able to take photos and videos of your avatar and the app or world you're in if they create video feeds for sharing. This seems to imply that they're working on OS level camera integrations possible at some point. So yeah, it's always quite interesting actually seeing Meta change the definitions of these settings that they have inside the OS on the fly. It gives us a little glimpse as to what they might be working on. And here, apparently they might be planning on going system-wide. Just like they might be going system-wide with movement permissions, which we spoke about in the previous video right up here. Another little something that Meta might be working on is eye unlock for their future headsets, of course, because the ones we currently have, well, only the Quest Pro has eye tracking. But it would be really nice to see eye unlock as a certain different authentication measure rather than using a PIN code for those that do lock their devices. So Horizon OS eye unlock animation, most likely work in progress. Horizon OS v81 PTC includes more references to a headset that has the ability to use eye/face tracking authentication. So this is something we've spoken about before. Eye authentication, face authentication isn't something new. Phones have been using this for years now. But of course, you know, something that is on your face, it makes perfect sense for that to authenticate using that face. So it would be quite nice to see this in a future headset if eye and face tracking does arrive. Mixed reality now works with Windows on ARM, which I think is a really big deal. I believe that Windows on ARM are those devices where you would most likely be using something like this. People buy Windows on ARM devices mostly for productivity, or let's say they're going to college, they're looking for something thin, something light, and they're mostly going to be doing something like, I don't know, writing documents, checking emails, stuff like that on that laptop. And for that kind of productivity, you might really want more displays. But in case you are going for Windows on ARM, you're probably not looking to buy, I don't know, 3 or 4 more displays to plug into that. Being able to connect a headset is a brilliant alternative, and it's nice to finally see the setting come to Windows on ARM. With it, of course, coming to normal Windows computers earlier on in the year with Microsoft's integration with Meta. Something that Meta isn't to be proud of, though, is their new Xbox environment. v81 changes a bunch of different things about our home environments and changes the fundamental way that they work, allowing us to move around freely, sit down, and pin windows to walls of the environment. Really cool. A lot of people seem to love it. A lot of people are also saying it's buggy and doesn't support things like Quest Game Optimizer. So let me know your opinions about it down below. But another something that v81 seems to have broken is the Xbox environment, as according to Luna, it now looks like it's like a half-assed port to the new system, and it looks significantly worse than before. So original versus the v81 port. The skybox is just a flat PNG stuck against the glass. Now seriously guys? Seriously? Oh my god, that does look a whole ton worse, and it is actually just a PNG. So they're working on making environments a lot better, working on pulling as much processing power as they possibly can from our chipset, showing us that it is more powerful and more capable than we have been using to date, and then they go out and do something like this. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. Hopefully it will be fixed. I hope this is not what they're striving for. Something that doesn't look terrible though is their new redesign of the Meta keyboard. Meta seems to be rolling out a minor redesign of the Horizon OS virtual keyboard, which adds a new animated dictation/mic button and rounded preview bar with arrow buttons to navigate text. I'm not sure this is exclusive for v81 or not. I'm not either. I haven't gotten v81 even though I'm in the PTC, and now I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, considering people are saying it's quite buggy. But I do like this new keyboard redesign. It just kind of makes it look a little bit more Android-y and something that I'm used to on my phone. And rounding off edges seems to be the theme in most devices now, including even our QS tiles. The Rokid Smartglasses have now raised over $1 million in the first week, proving that demand for AR glasses is there and is really high. Rokid, the China and US-based AR startup, launched a Kickstarter campaign last week for Rokid glasses, front-running the competition with a pair of smart glasses housing green monochrome displays. Now the crowdfunding campaign has surpassed $1 million, doubling the amount that it garnered within its first 24 hours. If Rokid glasses Meta's recent performance on Kickstarter is anything to go by, there is going to be an unmistakable demand for smart glasses that offer more than audio-only experiences. Google is planning them, and Meta is rumored to have their own in the works. Now, less than a week since its Kickstarter launch, the display-clad smart glasses have topped 8.7 million Hong Kong dollars, 1.2 million USD, and there's still 38 days to go on the campaign, leaving plenty of room to run until close on October 10th. So yeah, no, I definitely do think the demand is there. I mean, I'm one of those people that has to wear glasses for a living. Well, it's either that or contacts, and I find contacts to be kind of annoying. So this is much easier. If I can slap a bunch of technology into this and make it just a lot more useful than, well, just this, then I'm more than happy to do so. I'm already wearing them 24/7, might as well not have to take my phone out of my pocket or look at it for a notification that comes through, maybe just have something flash by or have navigation there. It's not even just the sci-fi aspect, which is obviously really cool, but it's just the kind of productivity and actual usefulness of it. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely one of those people that would love those. Windows mixed reality headsets have now been revived using the Oasis driver that we spoke about a few videos back from a rogue Microsoft employee. Well, not really rogue, as they're not doing anything wrong and not breaking any rules, but still, it's really cool to see that all of these devices are going to get a chance at a second life. So, to give you a little bit more information, a lone Microsoft employee released an unofficial SteamVR driver for Windows MR headsets called Oasis, re-enabling their use on Windows 11, which was taken away a few updates ago in case you use Windows. The Oasis driver arrives just under 1 year after Microsoft started rolling out Windows 11 24H2, which completely removed support for Windows MR. This meant Acer, Asus, Dell, HP, Lenovo, and Samsung PCVR headset owners could no longer use their headset at all, not even on Steam, since Windows MR had its own runtime and only supported SteamVR through a shim. Well, Matthew Buccianeri's Oasis driver solves this problem for free, as it is a native SteamVR driver for Windows MR headsets, adding direct SteamVR support. No other hardware or software is required, except SteamVR itself. In case you want to learn more about Buccianeri's history, as he's actually done quite a bit, I'm going to leave a link to the article down below, but TLDR is Windows MR is about to get a second life, and that's always brilliant. I'm super happy to see these headsets being revived, and essentially, it's stopping e-waste, because if Microsoft killed it entirely and no one came in with a driver, that's what these would have been. They would have been e-waste. Unless you downgraded your Windows version, which is obviously not recommended, and then you would stop getting security updates eventually, which, I mean, not ideal. The fact that Microsoft even had the option to do this sucks and shouldn't be a thing to begin with. They shouldn't be able to kill off devices that you bought, you purchased, you own, software-wise. That is absolutely terrible, but yeah, it did happen. And now for an interesting little piece of news to end off the video. As invisible mobile robots can make deliveries to VR and AR, Princeton researchers show. So yeah, this one obviously caught my attention, especially with the word invisible. Researchers at Princeton made a robot that can deliver food and water to someone in virtual reality. They call this robot control engine Skynet, and the bot wears a VR headset too. If you're sitting on the moon in virtual reality and want a drink of coconut water, the researchers show exactly how a robot could actually deliver it to you without breaking immersion. Okay, so that is quite interesting. The researchers worked for nearly a year on the project, which demonstrates the fundamental user interface concept for headsets in both VR and MR. Using a Quest 3 headset, a person could pluck a 3D model of the coconut water from the air, drop it over their desk, and then watch as it slowly materializes. That's actually interesting. When the object finishes its materialization, the user can pick it up. The invisible magic of the Princeton research is that while the drink is materializing, Skynet grabbed it and rolled it across the room to place it where the user expected it to be. Okay, that is, so you're essentially ordering stuff in virtual reality, but to you, it just kind of looks like it's materializing. That is really, really cool. What's more, the researchers show that the robot's visual presence could be erased entirely, so the object appears to teleport and nothing else distracts from their chosen task. The researchers even show how the robot could be reskinned to be something else. Okay, that is a really cool concept. Obviously, now it makes perfect sense how this could work and how you could make it work, but still, actually thinking about it, you know, I don't know, you're working on something in VR chat or whatever, and you decide you want to order a drink. You order that drink, you see it slowly materializing, forming on a table next to you, and during its materialization, a robot, IRL, brings that drink to you, stands it on that table. When it's done materializing in VR, you can pick it up and drink it. Kinda cool. Yeah, you could call it a gimmick, but still, kind of cool. Either way though, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you learned something new. If you did, please do leave a like. It costs you nothing, helps the channel out a ton. If you disliked it, I guess the fun works too. But let me know why down below. If you're not yet part of our community, check out our Discord and our Reddit down below where I want to see you posting your spice memes. And thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys are amazing. Seriously, much love. Thank you so much for your support. You are what makes all of this possible. If you want me to notify future content coming up on the channel, expect to subscribe with you or do my bell in the next video. Peace.